Hello guys, happy Thursday. How are ya? It's almost Christmas time, New Year's, holidays are here. Wait for people to come back on or to come on. All right. It is a week until Christmas. I am very busy. A lot of things planned, hanging out with family, girlfriend's family, my family, doing a lot of things. Let's see here. Let's wait for people to come on. All right. It's also my sister's birthday. I gotta give her a call and say happy birthday. Can't forget to do that. All right, guys, I'm gonna start. There's a couple of questions people already asked. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right, so if you guys don't know me, Paul Salazar at Hilton and Hyland. All right, we got some people here. Total Home Inspectors, David Hakeem, Realtor, Hank the Crank. I love it. Let me know where you guys are from. Eric, what's up? Eric Dennis, EXP Realty. Let me know where you guys are coming from. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Paul Salazar. I'm an agent at Hilton and Hyland here in Beverly Hills. What's up, Eric? How are you, man? What part of the United States are you selling real estate in, Eric? Eric Dennis, let me know. So anyway, guys, I'm here every Thursday answering questions. I'm also going to go over a few things that people have already asked me this week. I'm here every Thursday around 5 o'clock Pacific time, 5:30. Today I had some appointments in the late afternoon, so I couldn't come here earlier. But if you guys have any questions, please chime in. Let me know. If you have any real estate related questions or about my business, I sell luxury real estate here in Los Angeles, anywhere from downtown to Malibu, as far south as LAX area. I live in the west side in Marina Del Rey. All right, guys, I'm going to get started. First question was, what are simple things I can do to add value to my property instead of an entire renovation? So right now, I'm about to list the property the next probably month or two. Talked to the client, had a really good listing appointment. I cold called her, so I met her on a cold call. I wanted to find out if she was looking to sell. I sold the house right behind her. So if I'm selling anything in the area, I'm usually calling in the area and just letting people know that I sold the property or I have something listed or it's an escrow, right? So this one, real sweet lady, been living at the house for 25 years, and it's a very interesting property. It's a flag lot, so it's not really a typical developer opportunity because it's an older home, and this area is full of developers. So Healy, Andrew, what's going on, guys? How are you? Let me know what part of town, or if you guys are in LA, or what part of United States you guys are selling real estate. So anyway, so this client asked me, hey, some other agent came and told me I can get X number. And I said, well, that's interesting. It's like, they should tell you if you had to do any work to the property in order to get to that number, right? Because when I see a property and a client expects a certain number, I'm not going to shoot them down yet. I want to analyze first how we can get to that number first. What's up, Trey? I got one of my college soccer teammates here on Instagram Live. What's up, buddy? How are you, man? Happy holidays. So I walked through the property and I'm trying to figure out if this works for a developer or not, and it doesn't, because it's a flag shaped lot. So a flag shaped lot is basically the shape of a flag pole with the flag on top, right? So it's a very interesting lot. It's not again, it's not good for developers, and this area is full of developers, right? So it would be a perfect opportunity if it wasn't a flag lot for a developer, but it's not. So, when she told me that she was, she had some other agent come to her house and give her this high number, I'm trying to figure out how I can get her that number. So I told her, I said, listen, these are the comps, this is what's selling. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Let me know where you guys are coming from. What part of the United States? Let me know. So, I'm looking around the house, and she has not updated it once in the last 25 years, right? So an end user isn't going to pay top dollar for that, right? Because an end user buyer, somebody who's going to be living it for themselves as a primary residence or a second home, right? That's That's a end user. You have developers, and you have flippers, or an income property kind of investor who was looking to buy something, rent it out, or hold it and sell it in the future. I told her, I said, listen, we can get you this number, but we have to do some work, and look at these comps. Whatever that agent told you, they probably gave you a high number so that they can get the listing, right? Got my brother here. What's up, bro? So I said, listen, look at these comps, look at the photos. You tell me if your house is worth as much, right? And she even told me herself, she's like, based on what I'm seeing, these houses look, really nice, updated and everything. I'm like, yeah, they are. And they're right, a few blocks away from your house, same area, same school district, same zip code, right? So the only difference is, that her house is not updated and these other houses are, right? So like, if you want to get to that number, we can get there, but we have to make some changes. So I brought in my handyman who does a lot of work, and he's very reasonable with prices. So I brought him over and I said, listen, let's do some easy things to the house that are going to add value without, doing a complete remodel, because a complete remodel is going to cost a lot of money and also a lot of time and effort. And most clients don't want to do that. But if we can paint it, we can paint the cabinets, the kitchen cabinets. If we can change the kitchen cabinet hardware, if we paint the kitchen cabinets in the bathrooms, right? Paint all the walls white or some kind of off-white color, and we stage the property accordingly, right? This property I'm telling you guys about is in Venice. Venice, California is, Venice Beach area. It's very bohemian, right? So the people like that, like the bohemian, mid-century style. What's up, Matt? What's up, Wanda? How are you? Let me know where you guys are coming from. What part of the United States? If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Paul Salazar. I'm an agent at Hilton and Hyland here in Beverly Hills. We're a luxury boutique firm. And I'm here every Thursday around 5 o'clock answering questions. What's up? Hi. Let me know where you're coming from, Wanda, if you have any questions about real estate. Oh, Brea, you're right close to here. I used to always go to the CPK up in Brea when I was in college. And I used to always drive through Brea when I used to go to downtown Fullerton when I was in college. And I used to go and hang out with my friends out there. Anyway, so the easiest things you can do to really add value and sell for top dollar without doing a complete remodel is paint, stage, and then if the kitchen is super outdated, you can just paint the cabinets and change the hardware, right? Like that will make a big difference. Not all cabinets are the same, right? But most of them you can just do very, very simple things and really add value. So I said, listen, why don't we spend 10 to 20 grand on your house? You're gonna get an extra 100 grand, right? So you're gonna make 80 grand, right? You're gonna 8 times your investment. And she's like, you're right, that sounds good. So we had my handyman come over. She looked at the bid. My bid was right. Oh, Fontana, what's up? Shim City, LA. Shim City, LA. Are you here in downtown, or what part of LA are you selling real estate in? So anyway, guys, so if you're looking at adding value before you sell your house, do small things that are going to cost very little, that are going to have a high impact. Staging is super good, right? Because they stage the house with all this nice furniture, paintings, and they make it look really, really cute. And buyers fall in love with that, right? So that's, to me, staging is going to be the best return on your investment, right? If you have a 2,000 square foot house here in LA, it's going to cost you around 8 to 10 grand to stage it. And they also do the backyard too. Based in Mid-Wilshire, working with a mentor now in Compass while I wait to get my license. Oh, awesome. That's great. My assistant lives in Mid-Wilshire and she's doing the same thing. I'm mentoring her and she'll be a realtor in the next 5 to 7, 8 years. That's awesome. Which agent at Compass are you mentoring with? I am curious to find out. Maybe I know them. So guys, if you are looking to sell your house and you want to add value, do super simple things. Don't do a full remodel. A lot of people think that's smart to do, but you're not going to get your return on investment. You are going to get some extra cash, right? But the return on investment is not good. Oh yeah, I know Jennifer. Jennifer's great. That's awesome. She's a great agent. That's great. So congrats on her. She's a great mentor, I'm sure, and she does a lot of business. So that's a great person to learn from. All right, so let's see here. Let me know if you guys have any other questions about doing a simple renovation to add value to a property, right? Painting the cabinets, painting all the walls, right? And also landscaping is super important. Obviously not, I don't want to plant a lot of trees, but making sure that the front yard and the backyard looks super clean, right, is super important. Also, if you have a backyard where there's other houses like your neighbors, and they're looking into your backyard and there's no privacy, I'll tell you that's a deal killer right there. I've shown a lot of property that you see other houses and they're looking right into your backyard, and people don't like that. People want their privacy, right? They want to be in their backyard, in the pool or whatever, and they don't want other people looking inside. So if that's the case, if you have a house like that, you should. What's up, Jenny? How are you? I got Shim City, LA, and I got Jenny Holmes. That's awesome. So if you have a backyard that is not private, I would definitely recommend putting some like ficus trees or some kind of tree that's gonna be tall and make your backyard private. So those are some simple things I would do in the backyard. And if your backyard is messy, I would definitely clean it up. So this house in Venice that I'm talking about, the backyard needs some work. So I definitely told her, I was like, hey, like let's clear out all this stuff. Let's put some sod down. Let's make this backyard look like a backyard somebody wants to hang out at. Because right now it's currently not something that anybody wants to hang out. There's no grass back there. There's just bark, and there's some trees here, but it's not really organized, right? So I would definitely recommend doing that. Richmond Credit Source, what's up? Let me know if you guys have any questions about real estate or about anything. I am here to answer any questions. I'm here every Thursday around 5 o'clock answering questions. All right, let's go. Next question here. Our house is currently a single story and 1,300 square feet. Should we add a second story or tear down the house and start from scratch? That is a good question. I would talk to a contractor about that. Sometimes it's cheaper just to tear down the house and start from scratch, right? And you may be able to change the floor plan downstairs. I guess it all depends on the price, right? Oh yeah, no problem, Wanda. Wanda, did you tell me where you're selling real estate at, Wanda? Let's see here. Oh yeah, Brea. Okay, sorry. I got a bad short-term memory. All right, what's up? I got some people here. That's awesome. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So to answer that person's question about either tearing down a house or building atop of the house, I think that's a better question for a contractor. In my experience, I've had clients that will just build above if they have a single story. It just all depends on the lot size too, and like what you want to accomplish, right? Sometimes there's like you live in an area where like tearing down the house is not going to be cheap, right? Like on a hillside, right? So maybe if you're on a hillside, building verticals would be cheaper, right? So it kind of all depends on your situation. But those are the only questions I have from people. Let me know if you guys have any questions for me about my story in real estate, about anything. I am here to answer. What advice would you give someone who is going into the business at 19? Oh, that is awesome. I would say, good job, thumbs up. This is a great business to be in. It's challenging like any other business. I would say treat it like a business. When I first got into the business, it was back in 2006, and everybody was in the business, right? Everybody could make money. Everybody was buying and selling. It was a super easy business because anybody can get qualified, right? Now it's not the case, and depending on the area that you want to work in. Ellen, what part of United States are you? Are you here in Los Angeles? Let me know. But I think there's different routes, right? I have a business coach, so that could be a good route if you have the funds to pay for a business coach. That would be like the best thing. I want to work in LA. All right, well then come to LA. That's what I did. I used to live in the suburbs, right? It was like I could have been in Texas, but I was like 2 hours away in the suburbs. I was selling real estate for 3 years there until I came to LA. So Paul, tell Stephanie how you started in real estate. So I started in real estate working with my mom, right, in Rancho Cucamonga at Century 21. That was back in 2006. And, okay, Shim City, LA is Stephanie, I got you. So yeah, I mean, it was back it was April 2006 when I started. That was at the peak of the market back then, and then it just crashed, right? So '07 was super tough, '08 was super tough, '09 was super tough. So I had to pivot back then, right? I was like, what's selling back then was short sales and foreclosures, right? So that's what I did. I started, going after, people that were losing their houses. And I said, hey, instead of letting the bank take over, I'll take over as a short sell, and I'll sell it. So that's how I started real estate. And then I moved to LA, and I said I wanted to do high-end real estate, right? Because I was doing, $200,000 to $600,000 sales, and I wanted to do, multi-million-dollar sales. So I came to LA and I said, I'm going to be somebody's assistant, right? Because I really wanted to get into the high end. And I was like, I don't know how else I can get into the high end. I had some money saved up, not a ton of money saved up, I had about 6 months of savings, and I moved to LA, with my friend, and I moved into downtown LA. And I, sent out my resume to like 6,000 realtors, right? I had a list of realtors, and I emailed every single one of them. And I said, I'm an experienced agent with 3 years under my belt. I've sold, I think at that point I sold like 30 properties in the last 3 years, so I got a lot of interviews. I got about 15 interviews. I interviewed with a lot of great top agents like Santiago Arana, who's like the top 10 in the nation. I interviewed with him, and I interviewed with a lot of other great agents as well. Steven Shapiro from Westside Estate Agency. But the agent that I wanted to work with was at the firm I wanted to be at, and that was Hilton and Hyland. And so I knew that there were, the best, luxury firm, boutique firm in Los Angeles. And so when the agent, it was Chad Rogers, so you guys might know him from $1 Million Listing. He called me, and he was my last interview. And I was really close with signing up with some other agent at Keller Williams who I really connected with. And but Chad called me and he said, hey, I'm looking for help. And I said, great. I was like, this is the firm I want to be at. So it was just as easy as that. And I started as his assistant for the first 2 years, I would say. And then, I would get some leads from open houses. He would give me a couple leads that he didn't want to work. And I kind of grew my business from there. And then it became like a hybrid role. And then we hired an assistant. So it was like me and him, and then we had an assistant underneath us. And that lasted 8 years. It was a lot more than I wanted to before I kind of, went on my own, which was last year. So I've only been on my own for 1 year. In my 14-year career of doing real estate, I've always been on a team or working, together with somebody else, partnering up. But I finally went on my own last year in November, and I hired my first assistant this year in March. So things are going really, really well. It's been my best year of my career this year, and next year I'm shooting for a much, much higher number, which is great. Let me know if you need an assistant. Well, Ellen, if you need any help, I'm more than happy to jump on a call with you. Just send me a DM. And I'm more than happy to kind of mentor you. I've done it for a lot of other people too, because, my route isn't going to be the same route for everybody else, right? But it's I think it's an easy route, right? To be an assistant, learn how, somebody else that's in the business, how they do it, how they get their business, right? And then, so last year I said, I decided I wanted to be on my own. I got a business coach. And I really took responsibility for my own business. Before that, I was just kind of like, I had a bunch of referrals coming in, and I was making some good money, but I wasn't really making, serious money, which is like over $500,000, right? That's what I call serious money, or close to $1 million, because that's where I want to get next year. I want to sell. I want to have my gross commission income to be over $1 million next year. So it's going to be a lot of phone calls, a lot of cold calling, a lot of door knocking, a lot of work for sure next year. So I'm looking forward to it. But Ellen, I'm serious. If you really want me to help you out or to answer any questions, I'm more than happy to get on a phone call with you, or we can chat via email or whatever it is. I'm always happy to help. Jenny, that's awesome. I love that. Well, you're killing it. I got to get to your level. What's your your sales volume this year, Jenny? I'm curious to find out. I can look it up, I'm sure, on the MLS, but I'm curious to find out what your sales volume was this year. York, what's up, York? Ellen, you said, thank you, I am studying for my license, but I will take you up on that in the future. Yeah, for sure. The best thing you can do, Ellen, is talk to people that are at the top of their game, right? Talk to, call people. Listen, there's so many agents in LA that are at the top of their game selling multi-million-dollar houses. I'm just starting, I'm just starting, but I'm excited. It's a fun business. It's challenging, but literally the sky's the limit. I see people that are making over $1 million in areas that are, their average sales price is $300,000. No idea, but 40 units. Wow, 40 units. That is a lot. That is amazing. Is that including leases, Jenny? You're probably around $40 or $50 million in sales volume. I mean, you have to know what your sales volume is. Come on, I'm sure you track it. Have to run my numbers. That's awesome. All right, Shim City, LA. Stephanie says, advice for prospecting during COVID since we can't host open houses in Door Knock. The best thing to do is circle dialing. I have found that very, very good. If you have a cell, and you can, obviously use Jenny cells and say, hey, my team just sold a property down the street, and I have buyers and sellers that are looking to buy in the area. Are you, do you have any thoughts of selling? Basically, that was a really bad, script. What I usually say is, hi, this is Paul Salazar at Hilton Hyland. I just sold a property down the street, and I want to find out if you had any thoughts of selling, or do you know anybody in the area looking to sell? And I get a lot of no's, but if I call for an hour or two, and if I set an appointment every single day, then I'm going to be doing at least $1 million in commissions, right? If you can set 5 appointments a week, you will do $1 million in commissions for sure, especially here in Los Angeles. So right now my average is around 2 to 3 appointments per week. Cold calling. I call expireds, I call cancels, and I do circle dialing. So that's the best thing. So for advice for you, Stephanie, is learn scripts, right? Because that's what my coach asked me to do, and that was a bad example of scripts earlier. But circle dialing is a really easy way to get into cold calling, because I know it's very nerve-wracking to cold call. I mean, it took me a long time to do that. Repeat that. Hold on. Do you recommend saying Laguna Beach? Yes, for sure. Anywhere. Cold calling is the best thing to do. Mark, you got my title rep here, Mark Medina. That's including leases I'm checking. Do you recommend the same for Laguna Beach? Repeat that. All right, what do you want me to repeat, Stephanie? I forgot. $1 million, need a property there, but they don't turn over often. Then if the properties don't turn over often, that means you have to reduce the price until it turns over, right? Or just have more listings, so you can get some sales in there. But during COVID, the best way to prospect is to cold call, right? Or to pass out flyers. I was passing out flyers the other day. I wasn't door knocking. I was passing out flyers. Somebody was outside, watering the garden. I gave them the flyer. We started, chit chatting. I set an appointment for a week. I just sold their place. I double-ended it. It's a developer and a development opportunity. It was a tear down. So I'm going to sell that house in 2 years or a year and a half as a brand new development for $3.4 million. How many hours a day of circle dialing do you see X amount of return? Okay, so I don't have those numbers. What I do is I do an hour of expireds per day, and then I do an hour of circle dialing, and then I do an hour of follow-up. So 3 hours in the morning of pure calls. You need to develop the stamina because it's not easy. And it's very, very hard to hear no's all day. But all you need is one yes. All you need is one yes per day. And if you get one yes per day and you do that every single day that you call, you're going to make $1 million. It really is that easy. Jenny, how do you prospect? What do you do for prospecting? Because you get a lot of deals, girl. Are you social media? Are you cold calling like me? What are you doing? Because I see you have a lot of business going on. We have Stephanie Guerra here. Do you think mailers are effective too? They are. I actually got my first lead off of mailer in my geo farm that I just started here in Venice a couple weeks ago, and it's a $3 million sale, and that could be a developer, so it could be like a $6 million sale in 3 years from now. The only thing with mailers is that one mailer isn't going to do it. You got to mail either twice a month or once a month, and you got to do it for a whole year, right? Like, you're not going to see any results of doing one mailer. That's not going to happen. If you're going to do a mailer, I would combine that with calling and dropping off flyers too, right? Repeat referral now. Oh man, that's awesome. Good for you. That is great. I cold call my first couple of years. That's great. Good for you, Jenny. I wish I had that many referrals where I could just not cold call anymore. And I think that may be in probably 5 years from now, but not yet. I want to get to your level first. But yes, mailers are effective for sure. But again, it's all about being consistent. So it's about just keep on doing the mailers every single 2 weeks or every month. And it's not easy, right? It gets very expensive. I spent $1,000 a month on mailers. And, my coach said, just keep doing it, because I just started my geo farm. I've never had a geo farm in my entire career. And my coach said, hey, do you have a geo farm? I said, no. I said, what is a geo farm? And they said, are you serious? You've been in the business for 14 years and you don't know what a geo farm is? So anyway, long story short, I try to figure out an area that has a lot of high-end sales and a lot of sales, a lot of turnover, right? Because you don't want to do mailers or a geo farm in an area that doesn't have a high turnover rate. The average turnover rate is around 4%. That means 4% of the houses are selling in a certain area. So what I did is I went on the MLS and I searched solds, and I did the highest price range, right? They're like 5 million, and I see, all right, what's the highest price range where I live here in the West Side, and where are those sales happening at? So that's how I found my geo farm, and I started selling there. It took me about 6 months to start getting some calls and some activity there, but again, if you're gonna do mailers, you just got to be consistent. Don't give up. Just keep doing it, and have good content, and make it look really nice too. Branding is super important. I take pride in the way I brand my geo farm flyers. If you guys want examples of my geo farm flyers, I'm more than happy to send you a copy, like a PDF. So just shoot me your email on Instagram, and I'll have my assistant Maggie send you a copy of one of my geo farm flyers. Let's see here. Jenny says, everything works as long as you are consistent. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. And that's why I'm doing this every single Thursday, is the IG Live, because I want more referrals from you guys, agents, right? I'm not asking for referrals, but I know that if you guys are from out of town and you have somebody looking to buy or sell in Los Angeles, that you will at least give me a shot. But my coach also told me to do 1-minute videos every single day on social media, and I said, I don't have time for that. He says, you don't have time for 1-minute videos every single day. I'm like, okay, I have time. Anyway, so let's see here. Better late than never. Yes, agreed. Stephanie, where are you at? Stephanie Guerra. What part of United States are you selling real estate in? Yeah, and also York. I don't know how to pronounce your name there, but what part of the United States are you selling real estate in? Another thing I like to talk about is lead pillars, right? My coach told me that I have to have at least 4 lead pillars in order to have a consistent business. And I didn't know any of this stuff, right? Like, I was an assistant again when I came to LA, and I was working basically on open houses and referrals, and open houses are a great way to get business. Don't get me wrong, but in order to run a successful business that's going to grow over time, you need to have different sources of business, right? Like different ways where you're getting your leads from, right? So they can be, Zillow could be a lead source, right? A lead pillar. Open houses can be a lead pillar, not during COVID, but in normal times. A geo farm, like a farm area, that could be a lead pillar. Social media could be a lead pillar if you're really good at it. What are other lead pillars? Oh, and your sphere of influence, right? Like your network, right? Could be another lead pillar. So there's plenty of lead pillars out there, right? You just have to know how to, work them and be, like Jenny says, you have to be really consistent with that. Working with Jenny in LA. Oh, we got Jenny's people are in the house right now. How big is your team, Jenny? How many people you have in your team? Beyond the Veil. What's up, Beyond the Veil? Are you working in Vail, Colorado? And Stephanie Guerra, where are you coming from? I know Wanda Madison is coming from Brea. And Jenny, we got all kinds of people from Jenny's team here. That's awesome. Let me know. Beyond the Veil. Yes, are you in Vail, Colorado? Is that the emoji that's is that a yes emoji? Oh, Sydney. Oh man. That is far away. Hello. What time is it in Sydney right now? 6 including me. That's awesome, Jenny. That's really, really cool. I'm barely starting my group right now. I only have 2. Actually, I have like a marketing manager and a social media person, so I got like 4. But like agents, I only have just me and my assistant. She's also an agent. But that's awesome, Jenny. That's great. I love seeing that. That's how many people? How big do you want your team to grow? Do you want like a Aaron Kierman sized team, like 50 people, or do you want like a smaller team, like like a David Kramer? He's got like 10 people on his team. It's 1 p.m. Friday afternoon, lunchtime. That's awesome. Nice. I've never been to Australia. I have a friend that just moved back to Australia. She was living here, but she's Australian. She moved back. She told me she had to quarantine for 14 days in a hotel. That sucks. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, I think I want to do the same thing. I think I want to add at least an agent next year and maybe 2 next year and then grow from there. But I really want to get my systems in place. I really want to get organized. I really want to have, my brand to be super solid until before I start, building the team. But I know that you have that all set up, so that's good. And you're all over social media, Jenny. I love that about you. You're very, very consistent with being on social media. That's hard for me. It takes me a lot of effort for me to do that. To be on social media, like doing IG lives, it's not an easy thing, but I'm doing it because that's what I have to do. And that's what my coach told me is like, you have to be uncomfortable, right? Because like for like the first 13 years of my career, I was comfortable, just doing the comfortable things that were easy, but I wasn't growing, right? And now that I'm used to being uncomfortable, right? Like doing IG live, cold calling, that's so uncomfortable, like talking to a stranger on the phone and trying to pitch business. That is very uncomfortable, but it's just it's a muscle that you learn to develop over time, right? So now like I take cold showers in the morning. I wake up at 5 a.m. I do all kinds of weird shit that like makes me feel uncomfortable, and and it just makes me feel good, and I'm growing not only in my business but in my personal life as well. So anyway, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. I'm about to leave. It's 6:10. I am tired. It's been a long day. I'm gonna take some sailing lessons this weekend. I'm gonna have a sailboat next week that I can use. I'm gonna take my clients on, so I'm really excited about that. Brid Morta Real Estate, where are you coming from? Oh my God, I want to do the cold showers. Yes, Wanda, do the cold showers. It's really, really good. Seriously. It's a great way to develop that muscle that I'm telling you about, like that really uncomfortable muscle of like, oh, I gotta do something that's really uncomfortable, like cold calling or I gotta I don't know, like a listing appointment, like I'm like nervous for, right? Like now, like I don't get really nervous about anything because like I've done all these uncomfortable things and now I've developed this uncomfortable like place to be in, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, like I'm okay with that. Yes, no problem, Stephanie, and no problem, Wanda. All right, guys, happy holidays. I won't be here next Thursday, but maybe next Wednesday or something. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But I'll try to be here next week for Christmas week. Hope you guys have finished all your shopping. Hope you guys are staying safe. If I don't see you, if I don't talk to you, you can always DM me. If you guys have any questions, I'm always here to help out. All right, guys, have a good one. Happy holidays.